Another loss for the Red Raiders. They drop a game to Oklahoma, making them 5-5 on the season. Oklahoma beats Texas Tech 45-7, and like I said, we are 5-5 on the season, and I'm still at a loss for words about the season. Yes, the win over Missouri gave us some confidence, but we obviously didn't take that into Norman as we were just overpowered on all three phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. I mean, we just couldn't do anything right. I mean, we drive, they drive down the field first drive, score. We drive down the field first drive, score, and don't do anything. Our defense can't tackle. I don't know why. Uh, Tackling fundamentals on our team are poor. We tend to try to wrap the guy up by the shoulders when if you wrap the guy up by the legs, he's not really going to go anywhere. DeMarco Murray was hurt for a little bit during the game, but that didn't really seem to affect us because we couldn't stop Landry Jones through the air, and Ryan Broyles had a huge game. He's now the leading touchdown receiver receiver in OU history. So congratulations to him. Not that it was very hard, seeing that he was going up against the third worst pass defense in the nation. Um, I know this 3-4 transition is going to take a while because Tommy Tuberville does not have any of his recruits in. He basically just switched the system with all Leach's recruits who were running the 4-3 in previous years, and it's a tough transition. It's going to take some time for Tech to get where they need to be on defense in order to compete and possibly win the conference. I think somewhere in the next 5 years I can see them winning the conference, but 10-2 this season was definitely a bold prediction on my part, and as you can tell, we're nowhere close to that. We're 5-5, and we need to win these next two games. That's really all we can ask for. Taylor Potts has certainly had multiple personalities this season. Don't get me wrong, I think this guy has outstanding talent, but it seems to me that he has no confidence. Because, I mean, it all depends on how the game's going. He can't create something for himself. Like the Missouri game, he came out after he was benched and put up some good numbers and got a win for Tech, a must-needed win, and he gets the start against OU and really doesn't do anything, makes terrible reads, throws interceptions, and had a terrible day through the air. Baron Batch slipped a couple times coming out of the backfield on swing passes, and I think a stat popped up that we had 16 plays for negative yards or no yards, and that's just absolutely terrible. I mean, you can't afford to have that happen. Um, Good news is we aren't at the bottom of the Big 12 South. That spot is taken by Texas, who's having an even worse year than us. But Cowboy TD, I feel your pain. This year's very tough for me as far as Texas Tech football goes. Don't really have a pro team, but the hometown team of the Texans are also finding creative ways to lose, but not really going to go into that. Anyway, like I said, I know this transition is going to take a while, and it's going to be a couple years before we're where we need to be as far as winning the conference and maybe competing in a BCS bowl. But defensively, we have to improve. Even though we are playing Weber State in Houston, Case Keenum is out for the season, I believe, with an ACL tear, and Weber State, that should be a win, but I definitely want to see better tackling in this game, as well as rush defense and pass defense. But hey, we'll see. Oklahoma was able to just kill us, like I said, on all sides of the ball. Many people have been asking me if I was upset about Bob Stoops running up the score. And 2 years ago when he did that, yeah, I was a little mad because he did that to get them into the Big 12 championship and the national championship. But that's besides the point. 45 points. If we can't stop it, if we can't tackle someone correctly, why not run up the score? I mean, it's if we can't stop it, it's our fault, not Bob Stoops for running up the score. for a while. We did have a decent secondary, but injuries have kind of hurt us so far this season. Um, Jarvis Phillips is stuck on 4 interceptions. He's definitely, as he matures into a better defensive back, I definitely expect his play to get a lot better. He is a redshirt freshman. Very inexperienced. Our secondary is inexperienced. We have Cody Davis, who's a sophomore, makes a ton of tackles, but also misses a ton of tackles. Brian Duncan has been a bit of a letdown in the past few games. Hasn't really gotten pressure on the quarterback like he was excited to do whenever he found out that they were transitioning to a 3-4, and they might even use him as the defensive end sometimes, which they do, but he hasn't gotten pressure on the quarterback lately, as neither has the Tech defense. I mean, we blitz at the wrong times, and that's what hurts us. So just silly mistakes, missed tackles, penalties. Penalties are huge. Let's see. I want to talk about the one unsportsmanlike conduct that was called. I forgot who scored exactly, but he was flagged for saluting, which, not to make excuses, but I'm just going to use an example here. Lyle Leong has saluted to the crowd after every single touchdown he has made, including road games, and has never been flagged for it. So I don't really get the reasoning behind their call for unsportsmanlike on the salute, seeing that pretty much everyone who scored in the game against Missouri did that, and they had the American flag on their glove, and they didn't get flagged for it, and now all of a sudden, 10 weeks into the college football season, saluting is now an unsportsmanlike penalty. If someone would please explain that to me, I'd love to hear the explanation for that. They said on TV that it was something about um, directing attention towards yourself in a celebratory manner, which I don't really get how that works as far as the saluting goes. But anyway, we're a struggling team, and um, we can only hope for a 7-5 season. These next 2 games are a lot easier, but we do have to play as a team and put a good game together. The only good game that we played as a team was the Missouri game, and our defense didn't even play well that first half. Um, I knew going into the Oklahoma game that Tech's defense couldn't afford to come out dormant, and they obviously did. DeMarco Murray ran all over us, got hurt, Landry Jones threw all over us, and Ryan Broyles made, what was it, 3 touchdowns? So, I mean, if we can't stop it, that's our problem that the defensive coordinators and Tommy Tuberville need to fix. Tackling, that's just fundamentals. I don't know why they can't tackle anymore. I don't see why they go for the upper body when they could easily go for the lower body and stop the player's momentum. But hey, who knows? So that's pretty much all I got for y'all guys. No, I'm not crying. I'm just a little under the weather again. And the reason why I've waited so long to make this video is because I was really upset with the way that Tech played on Saturday, and I didn't want to make a video while I was angry, so I kind of let my thoughts digest over the weekend as far as what I wanted to say during this video, and what I expected from Tech's team this year, and what I'm actually seeing from their team. And it's we have so many personalities. We can have a team that has a great offense and no defense. We can have a team that plays good defense with very little offense, or we can have a team that just shows up and doesn't care. Oklahoma was obviously prepared for this game, and we weren't. So that's all there is to it. Many people have been asking me if I'm upset about the firing of Mike Leach. Yes, I'm upset about the firing of Mike Leach, but that's in the past. Mike Leach has nothing to do with this season. Transition year for sure for Tech, and I'm not going to give up on them. We're 5-5. We can still make it to a bowl game. It's just going to take some good football from here on out. And as far as what bowl game we would get into, it looks as if we would go into the Alamo, or not Alamo Bowl, excuse me, Texas Bowl, which is in Houston. Or I saw something about a bowl in Dallas. I forgot exactly what it was called when I was looking on the predictions. But um, yeah, we're struggling and we need to dig ourselves out of a hole, because I definitely want to keep this streak of bowl games alive. And that's not going to happen if we don't go back to fundamentals, tackling, and stuff like that. So that's it for me, guys. Guns up, Wreckham Tech. It's been a long year, and we'll see what happens the rest of the way. Not going to be able to watch Texas Tech play Weber State because it'll obviously not be televised, so I will listen to that one on the radio. And that's all I got for you guys. Guns up, Wreckham Tech.